course, Eddie, you came into this game after 3 wins in 3 different competitions. From the outside, looked in a good form. But do you feel you didn't perform to the levels you expected from your players tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the harsh realities of football. You can win 3 games previously and think, you know, you've turned a corner in terms of your consistency levels, and then it slaps you in the face. So that's what's happened to us today. We were disappointing by our high standards that we've stuck to lately, and the performance wasn't a good one.
And despite you scoring first, so losing from a winning position was also hurting the players, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I think just the manner of the performance, really. I think, yeah, going a goal up, you know, was obviously a great start, and Murph scores a great goal, and then the performance didn't. You expect us to go on from that and use the positivity of the goal, but we didn't. I felt we regressed in our performance. Yeah, we sort of got worse as that first half went on. We needed half time. We tried to reshuffle things, but to no avail today.
You can rely on St James's Park fans when things go bad and you're at home, but away from home, is that particularly the reasons why you're not performing to the levels away from home?
No, we can't look at that. Yeah, whatever environment we play in, whether it's home or away, where we have the support with us or against us, we have to find a way to perform better than we did today. And yeah, there's no excuses. It's hands up from us. That wasn't good enough, and we'll look to do better next time.
Paqueta's goal, do you think the goalkeeper should have done better?
I think Puppy would back himself normally from that distance, but he's actually made some very good saves today to probably keep the scoreline down. But I just think it's a case of all of us collectively analysing ourselves and seeing where we could have improved.
12 points after 10 games, quarter of a season. What's your assessment so far?
Of the Premier League? Yeah, I think we've yet to really click into a full performance. I think we've been a little bit up and down. I think there's been a lot of good in there. I think there's a lot more to come from the group, and today's a blip in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, the first half was poor. Second half was probably worse, which I didn't expect. I thought Eddie would have got into his players at half-time. He made 3 changes, which we felt he had to do just to shake things up. But he didn't create anything, and it would be a real concern there away from. As I said 2 or 3 minutes ago, you're driven on at home by your own fans at St James's Park. It's different when you go away from home. You've got to find your own energy. You've got to find your own spark, even when it's not going for you like it wasn't today. And I didn't see any positive today from any Newcastle player. All of them looked tired. They all looked leggy, which they shouldn't do, because there's only half the team played in midweek in the Carabao as well, you know. So, yeah, he's got issues away from home, certainly, Eddie Howe, that he has to try and work out.
Yeah, there was in the second half just 1 shot on target, 5 shots for Newcastle. Must have been so frustrating, especially that they didn't threaten at set pieces. We've seen what West Ham have been like from those situations.
Well, he was searching for something. He changed the system at half time. He went to 3 at the back, 2 wing backs. That didn't work. 15 minutes later, he went back to a back 4. But having said all that, they still had the height. And when you look at the problems that West Ham have had this season, particularly from set pieces, I would have thought with the power and the strength and the height that Newcastle have, then they would have caused far more problems than they did with the set pieces that they had. But they were poor in every department. They had nothing in goal. They had nothing in the midfield, really poor defensively, and offered very, very little in set pieces and up front, which is why he made so many changes.
Yeah, their struggles on the road continue. That's now 8 away from home without a victory. That's their Premier League away results this season, as I mentioned, and in 209 days since they last won away from home.
Yeah, you've got to dig deep away from home. You've got to put in that little bit extra, because when things are not going for you at home, you're rode on by your crowd, and the crowd bring a certain energy, and also the crowd bring a demand from you that you're not allowed to get away with things that you perhaps can away from home. So you need that little bit of spark, that little bit of extra thing that's going to put you into the performance. But I'm not seeing that away from home from Newcastle. I'm seeing players being lazy. I'm seeing players not track back, and I'm certainly looking at a Newcastle that is a lot easier to play against away from home than they are at home.
OK, so it's job done for West Ham. Then one more game to come on Premier League.